I'm currently in a phase of life where I don't have a lot of friends. And genuinely, like from my heart, I'm okay with it. What is up, everyone? I hope you all are doing well. If you don't know me, my name is Ishaan, and welcome to the video. Today, I want to open up to you about some of my recent thoughts and obstacles that I've had in my mind about being in meaningful friendships around me. When I was younger, in middle school, high school, even throughout my early college years, I was a people pleaser. I wanted social validation. In fact, I almost like chased it all the time. When I was in high school, I would try to hang around the cool kids or the popular kids, or try to act cool in class, try to make jokes, act funny. You know how it goes. Someone who really you can tell is insecure and wants some form of external validation because they're not giving it to themselves. To think that was only a few years ago, and now I'm at a point where I genuinely embrace and feel comfortable with the fact that I don't always have a lot of friends, regardless of anywhere I go. But the ones I do and the meaningful connections, like the connections that I have, are so meaningful and so deep that I wouldn't trade that for anything in this world, bro. I'll give a lot of examples in this video, but currently I live in Lafayette, Indiana, which is a bummerfuck place, dude. I grew up in New York City. This is not my kind of vibe, but I'm here for very specific reasons. I'm doing my PhD program. I'm only here for a few years, and I see this as a stepping stone where I have to sacrifice geography or geographical location in order to achieve something that's important to me and something that brings meaning and fulfillment to my life. So I always remind myself of that when I think of the geographical location, but it comes with this the caveat of it's going to be difficult, or it's going to be different to find friends or relationships, even depending on where you live and what phase of your journey are you in. For instance, if you are in school, it is so much easier for you to run into new people, whether that be in your classes, tutoring sessions, any co-curriculars that you're doing, like clubs, organizations, etc. Whereas if you're an adult working a full-time job, then really the only, I mean, you can really meet people anywhere, but your main sources are going to be either work, depending on what kind of organization you work for, because if it's a diverse age group, then maybe not. But if it isn't, and you find people around your age and same interests, then perhaps. But then otherwise, you meet people if you're going out on the weekends, or if you're someone like me and can approach people randomly at the gyms, something like that. It really just has to depend on what phase of the journey you're in and where you're at. But I want to deviate from that topic to go into my recent reflections upon where my journey has gotten me to. Self-improvement is low-key a path that you have to walk alone at some point. It's meant to be like that, and that's perfectly okay. One of the best analogies that I've seen, or one of the best ways that I understand this, is that you're at a point in, or I'm at a point in my journey where I've definitely outgrown some people from my past, but at the same time, I'm just not quite up to that next level where I'll be able to vibrationally attract the kind of tribe that I want to be a part of. So I'm still working towards that, and on that path, there's disconnect between my skills, my values, and the people that I would want to align myself with down the line. And this is something that many YouTubers have spoken about. In fact, I just watched a video the other day that talked about self-improvement being a lonely chapter of your life, and you have to accept and embrace this chapter and really fully divulge yourself indulge yourself into the things that you're committed to doing for your growth, whether that be towards your academics, your career, trying to make money online, trying to do social media stuff, literally whatever it is that you're trying to do. Gym stuff, improving sleep, improving nutrition, anything that it is, right? And it has to start with you accepting that you're different and that it's okay. I've honestly felt something innately like not normal within me from a very young age, and people don't really believe me on this for the most part. Or like, if I say it to regular people, like they're not gonna respond with any sort of enthusiasm or any sort of reflective answer that has thought attached to it. What I was trying to get at though is, growing up, I just always felt a disconnect between me and the people around me. Most of the times that was in school, since that was the setting that I was mostly a part of. But I had that disconnect from a very young age, and I worked so hard to silence that voice within me by trying to chase social validation, social acceptance, that at some point I just didn't feel like myself. Like I just didn't feel like what I was doing and trying to strive for was connected with who I am and what I really value. So the step was to just start recognizing that and start letting go of the barriers that I put in place with time between my true self and the person that I am now. And there were these barriers that I placed, limiting things, limiting beliefs. I placed some external sources also between how I was acting and who I really was. And it's so difficult to discern what's your true voice versus what's put into you by other people, that it takes months, years of internal work to really unravel that and let go of the self-limiting beliefs. It now and you have to just, step one is accepting and embracing that you're different, and that's fucking good, bro. Like, it's a good thing that you don't feel connected to every single person that's around you. Like, trust me, these things, these fucking thoughts, these feelings, these emotions, and the disconnect you feel from your true self, lean into this, because it's telling you that you're not living the life that you truly want to. And that was, like I said, step one, acceptance and embracing it, because that's how you start building towards what you want to do. And I wrote down a couple of talking points. I barely hit on any of them, so this was all just like flowing through me. And some of the thoughts that I had as of recent were just not being able to relate to people that are supposed to be my peers, or like that are supposed to be at the same level as me in life or in a similar journey. One of the best examples that I can think of now is I'm a first year PhD student, right? And it's so difficult for me to connect to other first years, simply because, well, there is an age gap. There's like a 2 year ish age gap, but which, it's not the craziest. But when you think about people coming from undergrad to grad school directly versus people like me who went to undergrad then worked in industry with like a wide age group of people and a very different and stressful environment versus a PhD program, and then coming into this space, it's just, my mindset just works very differently. And in the past, I would have tried to change my mindset to fit in with them, when that shouldn't be the case. That's me lowering my vibrational state to fit into my current environment. That doesn't make any sense to me anymore. Like, that to me feels like I'm not respecting my skills and my mind enough to step up to the plate and do my best and make friends that are like beyond my capabilities so I can learn from them rather than having to be someone who has to teach other people things always. But that's a waltz. It's also a dance that you have to play, like the mentor and mentee relationship. It switches. You know, sometimes you need to be the ones learning from your friends. Sometimes your friends need to be the ones learning from you. And it's the same on social media, dude. When I put out content, like I'm first of all, I'm learning something from it too, but hopefully you are as well. And then on the flip side of it, when people engage with the content and they give me their thoughts and their perspective and what my just thoughts made them think about, then it's the switch. It's the switch in the dynamic where I start learning from the other person, and it's just so cool. That's what I expect and intend for any sort of relationship to have. And if I'm being completely honest, there's a lot of things that I have learned from the first years, so can't complain about that. But also there's a learning side to the friendship, but there's also just being friends and being able to hang out with each other and spend time with each other. And when your vibrational states or your core values are not aligned, there's just friction in that relationship that's just extremely hard for me to overcome because I don't see the I genuinely just don't see a point in it because if something I wrote down was I'm surrounded by a lot of close-minded people who don't see nuances in perspectives and issues that the current society faces. And to me, that's just I can't do that, bro. Because why can't we talk about all sides in an objective manner rather than continuing to subjectively and emotionally speak about something that doesn't impact our daily lives either. I'm being so vague right now. I'm realizing that. But hopefully that's also perhaps applicable to your life in some sense or in some way. But it's just, when you're on self improvement, when you're trying to better yourself, it is going to become increasingly harder and difficult to connect with most people because let's be fucking real. Most people don't live to their fullest potential. Most people are not trying their best to become better in their life. They're coasting, they're on autopilot, for better lack of words. And the sad truth is that from my perspective and what I see in the world, a lot of people are just mentally checked out. Like you talk to them, but you can tell they're mentally not even there. Like they're thinking about something else. I'm telling you, bro. People think that no one notices that, but the ones that are actually present in the conversation and listening, and talking, like they fucking realize when someone is listening to them versus when someone is not. And being able to discern that is also a skill that you develop with your emotional intelligence as you work on yourself and as you grow. But I had to record this video for myself because I currently feel that I am in another phase where, like I said earlier, I have to let go of some people from my past to make space for new ones that are going to come into my life. And what I need to focus on when I'm going through this solitude chapter yet again is number one, keep working on yourself. Don't lose the focus, don't lose the purpose because the purpose is you. The purpose is self discovery, self realization. Whether that happens in solitude or whether that happens in social situations, and each of them is a learning opportunity. So treat it as such. And if you feel lonely, then find solace in yourself, your journal, your videos, your YouTube got people, mentors that you watch. I wrote down myself, journal, voice notes, videos, YouTube podcasts. Like, I still remember, dude, in 2023, This was around May, yeah, May 2023, so almost like 2 years ago. It was one of my lowest points where I was working in the tech industry, getting paid close to like six figures, had my own place, had my own car, but the job was just so meaningless that, and I wasn't even making videos during that specific phase of life that I was genuinely depressed. Like looking back, I was depressed as fuck at that time, and I leaned on to external things to help myself, but it in those times, one of the most important things for me was watching the YouTube videos and the mentors that I did, because they kept me afloat, man. They kept me going, and they provided me the comfort that I didn't have to know what's gonna come next in a few months. All I have to do is focus on the now and figuring out, okay, what are my immediate next steps to figure out a way to get to a better level. And whenever I felt lonely, I would actually like put on YouTube videos and listen to them by specific YouTubers. I'm specifically in that time thinking of Mike Thurston because I was watching his podcasts, and it was so comforting because every single person that I look up to on YouTube has spoken about how they had to go through a journey where they had to go through that solitude chapter, that alone chapter of their life, and that gives me comfort because it lets me know that I'm on a path that first feels true to me, which is good, and I know that there's people that have walked a similar path and gotten to a better place, which also comforts me knowing that I'm gonna get to a better place. And then I also think back to my past wins, and I'm like, I did all of that. I can do all of this shit again. Don't be afraid to tap back into your natural instincts that got you to where the fuck you are already. Like, think on that. And then, secondly, keep aligning yourself with your values, and then the right people are gonna enter your life at the designated right times. It's all divine timing, dude. And I'm saying I'm thinking all these different things about, I'm in a specific phase of my journey, this and that, but it's all meant to be this way. Like regardless of how I feel and think, I always have to remind myself that I'm exactly where I'm meant to be in my journey, and gonna lead me where this is gonna lead me to the path that I'm meant to be on and continue to follow through on it. Really, persistence is key. Persistence is key, regardless of any sort of failures, roadblocks, obstacles, challenges, etc. You have to just get back up and keep trying that. And I think that's the game for me. We're almost 20 minutes into this video. That is crazy. I will wrap this up here. If you got something if you made it this far, thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you got something out of the video, and let me know if there's any situations in your current life that you thought about when you watched the video. If there are any other thoughts you have or just want to mention something, let me know as well, and I will catch you in the next video.